Home sweet home. That's where the Greenwood Bulldogs were on Friday night, and oh, how sweet it was. I'm Leland Barclay, and welcome to this week's River Valley Sports Report, sponsored by Atchley Air, a local supporter of this show and local sports, schools, and athletes. Homecoming festivities and conference play are well underway, especially at Greenwood, where they celebrated homecoming, their Hall of Honor inductees, the return of a championship head coach, and some big plays in a big win over Van Buren on Friday. There were big plays by both teams through most of the first half on Friday. Van Buren led 7-0, 14-7, and 21-14 with playmaker Malachi Henry returning a kickoff 96 yards for a touchdown that sparked the Pointers. Right before the half, though, with Van Buren driving at Greenwood's 18, the Bulldogs turned the tide. Senior linebacker Evan Williams intercepted a pass and returned it 90 yards to lift Greenwood to a 28-21 halftime lead. Then Grant Carnes returned the second half kickoff 84 yards for a touchdown, and the Bulldogs added touchdowns on 4 straight possessions for a 63-21 win. We caught up with Chris Young on Friday night, an excited head coach after the win.
Return.
Oh, it was huge. It's 21-21, I guess, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And, we had some chances and just didn't take advantage of them. And double cover, and I was telling those guys, double cover one makes you play 10-on-9 with the rest of the guys, so it opens up some stuff. But made the big play and definitely turned the ball game around.
Well, and then you get the kick, that gave you the momentum. And then you come out in the second half and get the kickoff return, and it was just like the momentum just completely swung.
Yeah, three's pretty special. I don't know what's more impressive, that kickoff return, that one-handed catch he came down here. I told him I think that may have been the best catch I've ever seen. So, we got a lot of weapons on offense, and Coach Hogan and Coach Morton are just doing an unbelievable job running our offense. I don't think we punted in 3 weeks. And, it's a tribute to those guys. And in the first half, Van Buren did a good job of limiting our possessions. We had it 4 times. We scored 3 and fumbled once. And, in the second half, we had more possessions and a lot more efficient.
Go ahead. What was kind of the key in slowing them down the second half?
I think getting them tired, but, we got them in some long yardage situations in the first half and just missed tackles. We had guys there and didn't make plays. Part of that is we're lunging, not making plays, and then part of that is 10-1 are pretty good. And those guys are hard to tackle in space. So, overall, Coach Gill got them in the locker room at halftime, made some adjustments, and kids played better.
In other headlines, both Northside and Southside opened conference play on the road. The Grizzlies had the unenviable task of facing 4-time state champion Bryant in the opener of the 7A Central. The Hornets obviously haven't missed a beat this season and rolled to a 41-10 win. Southside traveled north for their 7A West opener, dropping a 35-7 decision at Rogers. Alma opened 5A West action with a win over Clarksville. Ozark started 4A1 play with a win over Berryville. Lavaca, Charleston, Mansfield, and Boonville all started off 3A1 play 1-0, while Magazine is 1-0 in the 2A1. The final 9 of September continues conference play on Friday. Keep a particular watch on the 3A1, where the 4 winners from last week play the 4 teams that dropped their conference openers. Who will move to 2-0 and which teams can bounce back and even their conference record on Friday night? Northside stays on the road for the 2nd consecutive week in the 7A Central, while Southside returns home and welcomes Bentonville, the 3rd-ranked team in the state, to town. That's going to take us to halftime of the River Valley Sports Report. We'll be right back after these words from our sponsor, Atchley Air, with Gimme 5.
The Martins came over, we were having spaghetti when we suddenly noticed that we started getting sweaty as the temperature approached 90 degrees. My buddy said, man, you gotta call Atchley. AtchleyAir.com. When your air conditioner breaks, they're the one you want. AtchleyAir.com. They fast and they're good and they got it going on. The technician showed up the very same day. Got it fixed right and fast, he was on his way. When your air conditioner breaks, you know who to call. There's only one choice, AtchleyAir.com.
Gimme 5. These are the top 5 performances of the past week in the River Valley. Number 1, senior wingback Trace Hall of Boonville had a game worthy of him being selected the River Valley Player of the Week. Hall had 14 carries for 222 yards and 5 touchdowns. He also caught a pass for 23 yards and had 2.5 tackles on defense in Boonville's 75-46 win over Hackett. Number 2, the Alma Airedales opened 5A West play with a 41-13 win over Clarksville to improve to 4-0 for the first time since 2004. We caught up with Alma head coach Rusty Bush after practice this week, and we discussed the win, the 4-0 start to the season, and more importantly, the 1-0 start to conference play.
Boy, how good does that feel?
Well, it's a lot better knowing 4, that's for sure. But, yeah, we're excited. It's the first 4-0 start since like 2004, so they tell me. And the kids are playing with a lot of confidence. And look, this is what Alma football is about. I mean, the standard is this, and that's what we've been trying to build upon. And right now, these kids that are seniors, we've got great leadership from our senior class and pushing us forward. We played some really good football. And now I think it's our biggest challenge of the year coming up this week against Farmington, a team that's going to challenge for the conference title, and we're just happy that the game is relevant. For the first time in a long time, this game is relevant. People around the state's going to be, keeping their eyes on it because it's 2 really good football teams out of the 5A West.
Well, and you talk about the 4-0 start as maybe being 1-0 the most important part of that.
There's not any doubt about it. Anytime you can start conference play 1-0, especially at home, you got to win them all at home. We know that, and then we got to go steal a few on the road. So anytime you come in to your own place, you come away with a good victory. We did that. Now we've got to go back to work and get on the road and go play a good Farmington team.
Number 3, the Boonville Bearcats bounced back from their loss to Harding Academy in the final non-conference game with a 75-46 win over Hackett. Boonville rushed 46 times for 586 yards and 10 touchdowns. Boonville scored on all 11 offensive possessions, with Dax Goff also throwing for a touchdown to go with his 226 rushing yards and 4 rushing touchdowns. Cody Elliott added 116 yards and a touchdown on the ground. Now, Boonville needed all of that, with Hackett also scoring 7 touchdowns, with Cole Ketchum throwing for 436 yards and 5 touchdowns and running for 2 scores. Bryce Hamilton caught 9 passes for 205 yards and 3 of the scores. But this might be the stat of the game. Neither team committed a turnover while gaining a combined 1,083 yards. Number 4, senior quarterback Nick Gehrig threw for 233 yards and 5 touchdowns to pace Subiaco Academy to a 34-28 win over Cutter Morning Star and even their season record at 2-2. His 42-yard touchdown pass to Anthony Gehrig in the 4th quarter cracked a 28-28 tie and was the game winner. Brady Coate caught 2 touchdown passes and on defense intercepted a pass and had 12 tackles and a sack. Number 5, usually when we mention Charleston in September, it's all about football. Tuesday, though, the Charleston Lady Tigers added a state championship to their trophy case, winning the Class 3A Girls State Golf title. Perry Tigert shot a 93 for 3rd place individually, and Maddie Flynn was close behind with a 94. Claire Smart and Jana Kingla also helped Charleston win by a whopping 19 strokes. Check out every day of the Northwest Arkansas and River Valley Democrat-Gazette, where you will get Players of the Week, predictions, top performers, stats, schedules, scores, and capsules. We also talked this week with Alma linebacker Reagan Birchfield about Alma's win on Friday night, but be sure and check out Thursday's River Valley Notebook, where we also discuss his unusual hobby.
4-0 start, are you guys real happy about that?
Yeah, we're all excited. I mean, over the summer, just all this practice and all the hard work's just been paying off. No one really expected it, but I mean, our teams came out and we've played and we've proven that we're here to make a statement and try to take conference.
For you personally, how nice is it to be back on the field after a couple of injuries?
It's amazing. I mean, sitting out all of last year, I have a lot of built-up anger and such. Being out here with the team and being able to play is just so fun, and I'm just really glad I'm back.
What do you guys have to do to keep it going? Because you got a tough one coming up Friday night.
Yeah, I mean, each week we just have to focus on that team. We can't look in the past. We can't look in the future. We just got to focus on that team each week, and we got to go into it thinking being 1-0 and just focus on that team and work harder and harder each week.
Also, be sure and pick up every Sunday's River Valley Democrat-Gazette and the 4-page sports section. Weekly features of that sports section will be a feature story, wrap-ups from 2 selected games on Friday night with the player of the game, play of the game, and an in-depth dive into the game, and a small college notebook by Kevin Taylor. Just this past week, we had a big story and package on former St. Anne's football coach George Loss. You can subscribe online at nwaonline.com and click the subscribe button, or by calling our customer service line at 479-684-5509. Be sure to follow the new River Valley Democrat-Gazette Twitter account, as well as mine, Walter Woody's, and Harold McIlvain. You can view and purchase photos from our award-winning Arkansas Democrat-Gazette photographers that can be seen and purchased on our website, nwaonline.com/photo. We're going to wrap up this week's River Valley Sports Report with photos from all the homecoming festivities at Greenwood on Friday. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more updates like this. God bless you, and we will see you next week.